Okay, so Be'ezras Hashem, we are continuing with our weekly shir on the Zohar Kadosh, on the Parsha. And this week we're also going to attach it to Tu B'Av, to the secret of the Heilige Yantif that we find ourselves in, of Lo Hayu Yom Tovim Li Kamo Tu B'Av, that Tu B'Av, the 15th day of Av, following Tisha B'Av, is the Gilui, is the full Gilui of the Pnimius of what Tisha B'Av is meant to offer us. Tisha B'Av, as we said, is the Os Tes and the Aleph Beis, is the secret of the Os Tes, which is Tuvu Ganuz Begave. Its goodness rests hidden within it. And as the Heilige Ishbitzer Tzadikim said, that every ninth pasuk contains a hidden secret because of this principle that the Or of Yesod, the Or of Tisha B'Av, which is the Sharish of Mashiach, which is the binyan of the Beis HaMikdash, so that remains concealed, but we believe and we know and we have the affirmative glance at the goodness that rests hidden within the vessel, just as the ostes looks like a container that has the yud that's bending into it to imply the fact that there's a yud that kindles its light in the interiority of things prior to the emergence outwards, with the yud itself no longer contained within the vessel, which is the secret of going from tes to yud. So at the ostes, the goodness is still concealed inside. And on Tu B'Av, on the 15th of Av, what we find is that Lo Hayu Yom Tovim Liyisrael Kamo Tu B'Av, that the definition of Tu B'Av is ultimately the secret of the Tovim Liyisrael, the secret of the Gilui of Tov, the goodness, the Ki Tov Bara, the goodness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created in the world, the secret of being able to understand that Choik HaTov Lehetiv, and that we are encountering a Tov HaNira, V'Hanigla, that everything is rooted in the ultimate goodness, that Choik HaTov Lehetiv, and the secret of Olam Chasidi Bana. That is Niskala on Tu B'Av. Tu B'Av itself is the beginning of Tes Vav, which is the shirish of the word Tov, and the secret of the Zivug, which is always a Beis, and the Beis of Bracha, as we're going to see in the Zohar Kadosh. So the Tu B'Av connected with the Os Beis, as hinted to in B'Av, so Tuv, Tov Av, it's the secret of the goodness of the Aleph Beis, which is the secret of the Ostes in its fullness, which is the Tov. So that's Niskala on Tu B'Av, on Tov Av, on the time that goodness is revealed within the Osios themselves, within the Kalim of this world, which is the secret of the Ostes, which is now revealing its goodness. Now, good, Tov, is fundamentally connected to the secret of connection between above and below and disparity. That there appears to be two, and goodness and bracha come about when there is a unity between what appeared to be two to reveal a further expression of the achdus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Every time there's achdus, every time there's yichud, there's tov. That's the secret of tov ma'od, that the entirety of creation, especially the seeming opposition between sides, is ultimately to reveal the goodness of Marav Tuvcha Asher Tzafanta L'Reacha, the Tov, that Ostes, which is hidden in the Churban Habayis, in that secret of the undoing of the Tzimtzum, where the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu can no longer be contained by the vessels and the stones and the wood and the kalim of the Beis HaMikdash, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is forced to reveal his infinitude once again. The job is to reveal the true goodness, which is the Tachlis Habriya, which is Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lioslo, Dir B'Tachtoinim Mamish, in the lowest place, which is what Tu B'Av is all about. And that's the uncovering of the full extension of goodness and the true goodness, which is Tov LeElyonim and Tov LeTachtonim. The secret of Tov, goodness, is always fundamentally associated with connectivity between two apparent opposites that are oppositional in their core, not simply accidental opposition, but fundamental opposition, above and below, infinite and finite, masculine and feminine, expression and receptivity, yeshus and bittul, ani and ayin. And the tzaddikim point out, based on the Zohar Kadosh, and the Zohar Kadosh points out, that the secret name associated with the Or of Tov, which is Gematria 17, is the Rosh Tevos of the Psukim Es HaShamayim ve'Es HaAretz. Es HaShamayim ve'Es HaAretz, the heavens and the land, and the seemingly impossible connectivity between the two of them, that is represented to in the Rosh Tevos in the first letters of the Psukim of those words in the Pasuk, which spell out Aleph Hey, Vav Hey, which is referred to as the shame of Das, the name of knowledge. As we've been speaking about, the Nakuda of Moshe Rabbeinu was the Nakuda of Das, of connectivity, which is why Moshe's name is Tuvia, and that there was an Or Kitov when Moshe Rabbeinu was born, because it was light of connectivity, of redemption within exile itself, of infinite within finite, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the palace of Paro. Moshe Rabbeinu is the essential expression of Tov, Shenolad Mahul, that the Gilui of the Yesod, the Gilui of Ostes was revealed in its fullness, which is Tov Ba'av, the Tov Av, the secret of the goodness that is inherent within Chachma, that's Mashbiel Lamata, into the Osios themselves, the secret of the Ostes in its fullness. And Moshe Rabbeinu's Das is associated with the Shem Aleph Hey Vav Hey, which stands for Es HaShamayim Ve'es HaAretz. And the gematria of that name, which is referred to as the Gushpanka de Malka, the stamp of the king, the seal of the king that reveals the ultimate unity of everything. All of the things that are seemingly coming from different destinations in reality, all of the Heichal HaGvanim HaMishtanim and the different perots of the Atze Hagan, and all of the differentiation in reality, it begins to seem, God forbid, to the mind and to the heart especially, that there's a split origin of these things. That good comes from one place and that negativity and opposition to good comes from another place. And therein lies all separation and all threats of separation and all shnios and all period and all machlokas that exists in the world. And the ultimate light of unity is the revelation of the Gushpanka de Malka. It's the stamp of the king. It's realizing that no, this was the king, and this was the king, and this was the king, and this one's the king. And it's the Achdus HaKoileles that comes about from the Pa'ulos HaMishtanos, which is the secret of the Tzaddik Emes, who collects from everywhere, all different places, every part of experience, and reveals that all of it is fundamentally unified. That's the Gushpanka. That's the stamp. That's the seal of the king. That's the Nukud of Emes, the true expression of Tov. Es HaShamayim ve'es ha'aretz, unity between above and below, which is the secret of Das, which is the secret of the Shirish of the Yesod, which is the connectivity between above and below. That's Tu B'Av. That's the Tov Av. That's the goodness that exists within Yesod the Abba, that's Miskala from Chachma and Megala itself downwards through the Yesod the Zoh, which is the secret of the Ostes in its illumination and the transformation of Tisha B'Av into the light of Tu B'Av. Now, we find ourselves in the Parshios, the Eschanan, Eikev, the Parshios of Moshe Rabbeinu. This is Moshe Rabbeinu finally giving over everything that he needs to give over to Klal Yisrael. He gives over everything that he needed to in his tefillah. He gives over everything that he needs to in his tefillah, in the Eschanan, that leads us to the place of realizing that everything is a free gift, undeserved. And the only thing that we have to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for is the ability to recognize the undeserved nature of the gift, which allows us to open ourselves up to the unending light that ascends from above to below, and the secret of the Brecha Ha'Elyona, the Brachos Mirosh Tzadik, the Brachos Lirosh Tzadik, rather, that comes down from above, from the Olam of Atika Stima, and the Olam of Atika Kadisha, the light of Keser, the light of Atik and Arech, the light of the infinitude, and the simplicity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence in all things, down, down, down into the constriction of Zer Anpin, into the place of human consciousness, into the place of the Sa'aros HaZakein and the hairs, and the various pathways through which individual things take shape, which force us over and over to feel that things are stuck in separation and differentiation. That's the Sa'aros. We have to be mamtik, the Sa'aros, as the Rebbe has been speaking about, the Sa'aros of Zer Anpin, the hairs and the various Sha'arim and all of the differentiation and different things that appear to lose the particular stamp of the Melech, that secret of the Das HaNe'elam, the secret of the Shem Aleph Hey Vav Hey, which is the secret of Das, which is the secret of the Sefer of Oragonus L'Tzadikim, the Heligat Tzadikim, based on the Bris Menucha, saw this name as the essential name of all things, connectivity, the secret of connection between above and below, which also reflects on our awareness of the seemingly disintegration of above to below. Because another thing that's the gematria of Yud Zayin, which is Tov, is the word Oi. Oi, as Rav Menachem Mendel Lishklov points out, that Oi, the expression of Oi, is the recognition that there's a unity that's meant to be here that's not here right now. And that's what Rabbi Nachman refers to as the Hakaras HaChisaron. The Hakaras HaChisaron, the awareness of that which is not okay right now, expresses itself by way of Oy, Vey, Oy. But Oy, hidden within that recognition of the Chisaron, is already the desire to be Mashlim the Chisaron, which takes place through the inhale, the deep inhale, and holding the breath, which expresses itself in the krechs of Oy. And that Oy represents the hither side of the goodness. When we're aware of the disintegration and the differentiation, that too is a recognition of a Kadosh Baruch Hu's presence. That's also the Gushpanka de Malka. As Rav Tzadok and all of the tzaddikim teach us, in the secret of the Rishimu, and the hidden goodness, that is above, that's hidden above, what we connect ourselves to is the secret of Tov, the recognition of Oy, that from the level of Oy, when I see disintegration in the world, I'm also coming to terms with the fact that I know that there's a deep unity in the world that I need to fundamentally connect myself. It turns out that this Nukud of Das always contains within itself its expression and its opposite, because Das Elyon contains its opposite within itself. So Das can be expressed in the secret of Tov, which is Aleph Hey Vav Hey, the unification of Es HaShamayim ve'Es Haaretz, or when we are aware of the Chisaron of that connection, which is the beginning of the awareness of the inherent connection, by way of the irreducible trace of the original connection that I'm mourning over when I say Oi, which is also Gematria 17. Both ways a person is going to come and connect to the secret of Das, which is the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu. So when we find ourselves, after Moshe Rabbeinu draws down the secret of the Matnas Chinam, we find ourselves now Moshe revealing the Torah. Moshe revealing the Torah of Moshe. Moshe revealed the Tefillah of Moshe. The tefillah always is going to be ascendant from the Torah, because we draw tefillah down from the Torah in order to reveal the fact that tefillah is the ikr by transforming the Torah into tefillah. And so we start with Ve'eschanan, and then we find ourselves in Parshas Eikev, where Moshe Rabbeinu reveals the innermost points of the Torah itself, the secret of bracha, the secret of the connectivity between the two elements of Moshe Rabbeinu, the two elements of the Das of Moshe, which is Vahaya Eikev Tishma'un. Eikev is the secret of Rabbi Akiva, and Tishma'un is the secret of Rabbi Shimon. That there's two Giluyim of the Das of Moshe. There's the Das of Rabbi Shimon, which is the innermost point of Torah Shebechsav, Alisa Lamarim V'Shivisa Shevi, as we saw in the Adir Bamarom. And there's also the Neshama of Rabbi Akiva of Moshe, which is a secret of Torah Shebal Peh. That Moshe Rabbeinu was called Train Mashiach, and he's called Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben Dovid. He's called the secret of Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Akiva, the secret of Ben Yosef, Mashiach ben Yosef, who gives his life on Kiddush Hashem and the Heichel of Ahava, in Kiddush Hashem and the Mesiras Nefesh of the Pratim of Torah Shebal Peh and the concealment of Torah Shebal Peh. And Rabbi Shimon represents the hidden place of drawing down the light of redemption prior to redemption in the Ma'ara, which is the secret of the Zohar HaKadosh, which is Mesiras Nefesh b'derech Ta'anug, as opposed to Rabbi Akiva, who's Mesiras Nefesh b'derech Yisurin. And ultimately, we know that the Torah of Rabbi Shimon is the truma, is the essential nakuda of the Torah of Rabbi Akiva, because contained within the pleasure of Rabbi Shimon's avodah is the Mesiras Nefesh mamish of Echad and Ahava of Rabbi Akiva. And this is why Tu B'Av has so many elements of connectivity, love, connection, zivug, shidduch, suda of la'asalavo, tikkunim, reconnections, building of the Mizbeach, but it also represents the end of previous moments of disorientation and disconnection, because the Pilagesh Begiva and all of the different things and the Maseh Midbar stop dying. So there's a mixed expression on Tu B'Av, because the whole essence of Tu B'Av is the connection between Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Akiva, is the secret of Vahaya Eikev Tishma'un. Eikev is Rabbi Akiva, Tishma'un is Rabbi Shimon, and that's the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's why, perhaps, why in the Zohar Kadosh and Parshas Eikev, we don't have Guf HaZohar. We don't have the words so much of Rabbi Shimon himself. We have the words of the Raya Mehemna. We have the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. Raya Mehemna, the faithful shepherd of Moshe Rabbeinu, is the secret of the inner panemius of mitzvos maisios. Mitzvos maisios, drawing down Chachma into Malchus itself, Abi Yisad, the Das of Moshe that descends down into the Dir B'Tachtonim Mamish, that place of disorientation, and reveals the secret of Halacha, Hariyu LaHashem Kol Haaretz, the secret of the unity between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, which is the secret of Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo, the secret of Baruch Sha'amar V'Haya Ha'olam, the secret of Torah Shebechsav and Torah Shebal Peh. And that's the Raya Mehemna. The Raya Mehemna is the Das of Moshe Rabbeinu, because Moshe Rabbeinu, why did Moshe Rabbeinu want to come into Eretz Yisrael? Because Eretz Yisrael was the Dir B'Tachtonim Mamish. It's the Eretz Yisrael Mamish that Rabbi Nachman describes. It's the feet on the ground, literally. It's the Hamshacha of Chachma into Levushim, as Rabbi Nachman said. The Hamshacha of the Das of Rabbi Shimon into the Kli of Rabbi Akiva, to be Megala, how the Kli of Rabbi Akiva is just Megala Das on the Iker Nakuda of Pnimius Torah of Rashbi, which is the Nakuda of Das of Moshe, which is Koilel, Train Mashiachin. Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon, Eikev Tishma'un. And so we only see in this week's Parsha and Eikev, all we have is the Raya Mehemna, the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu, because the Parsha is the Parsha of Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the place where Moshe Rabbeinu is finally entering into Eretz Yisrael after Ve'eschanan, and after the Megala Amukos' yard site, which was Parshas Ve'eschanan, with the Reish Nun Beis Oifanim, in which Moshe Rabbeinu is nimshach into Eretz Yisrael to be koilel train Mashiach, to be Megala Zayin on the arrival of Mashiach in our days mamish. There's the Tisha B'Av, then there's the Megala Amukos, Parshas Ve'eschanan, Nachamu, the drawing of Moshe Rabbeinu into Eretz Yisrael, the unification of Eikev and Tishmon, and then we have in the Zayin Denachemta the connectivity and the drawing of the light of Moshe Rabbeinu down into Eretz Yisrael. And what's this light of Moshe Rabbeinu? The Iker light of Moshe Rabbeinu that we're going to see in the Raya Mehemna is the light of bracha, is the light of brachos, brachos l'rosh tzaddik. The secret of eating, the secret of partaking of this world, of being metaken chet eitz hadas, of fulfilling the Ramami Pano's dictum as it's described in all of the Balei Chasidus from Ishbitz and Radzin, that in the future, after we partake of the Eitz HaChaim, there will be a mitzvah of partaking in every element of the Atzei Hagan and elevating all of those Peiros Ha'ilon, Lamala Lamala B'Sharashim, the secret of the Tanug Ha'amiti of Ta'anug Ruchani. But to partake of all of the trees of the Gan prior to partaking of the Eitz HaChaim is just to be a hamshacha of partaking of the Eitz Hadas Tovara, which is the desire to grab hold of that which is revealed and that which is felt, revealed connection. But the secret of bracha shlor tzaddik, of drawing down that tainug from partaking in this world and elevating it up, finding the letters that are inherent in each and everything, in the secret of toiv av, and the secret of the goodness that is inherent within each and every os of the aleph beis, because each and every os of the aleph beis is simply another opportunity for a gilui of toiv, for a gilui of es hashemayim v'es haaretz. Every os is a hamshacha from the mala through the process of the emsa down into the bottom, so that the bottom can then ascend back upwards through the emsa to be megalazayin on the panemius of the beginning, which was so far greater than what we began with. That's the secret of every single os in the Torah. Every single os, every part of each and every os is fundamentally this three-step process of this gilui of melamala down lamata, and then from mamata up above again lamala, to reveal an even higher power of lamala, and the secret of the Reisha de Loas Yadam, the secret of brachos the Rosh Tzaddik, and the secret of malchus agnuza beradla, and the secret of the tov av, and the secret of the yisoid the abba that's miskala lamata within the osios themselves. And that's the osios that Rabbeinu saw in the Achila, in the secret of the Maisa Melechem, where Rabbi Nachman said, remember this story well, because this story is going to be fundamentally necessary for the generation prior to Mashiach. It's the secret of Echad Shushtaim. The story was told over there, but it's revealed over here in our generation, in the secret of Eretz Yisrael, of Echad Shushtaim. And that story of Maisa Melechem is the secret of receiving the Torah anew by coming to terms with the fact that the Achila itself is Gans Osios. That the food that I'm partaking of, when I pay attention enough, all that exists is osios, as the Balatanya teaches us, as the Gra teaches us. All that exists is osios, hamshachos melamala, that come down and congeal themselves into the tmuna of this worldliness, and so that we can elevate the tmuna and all of the disparity of this worldliness and its physicality up to the true source of unity, which is the secret of the Pele Elyon. And to see the osios within the food, as Rabbi Nachman hints to in Torah Yud Tes, which is the secret of Targum. And that's why in this week's Zohar Kadosh, we're going to see a profound introduction to the secret of bracha. And before we enter into the secret of bracha, let's see how Moshe Rabbeinu and Raya Mehemna is going to be magdir the entire element of bracha. That the entire element of bracha is as follows. Siv, it's written that anybody who partakes of this world, Pekuda da lebracha, the mitzvah is to make a bracha towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything that we partake in, both physical or non-physical. V'tani b'hai alma, and anything that draws any element of pleasure into our lives in this world. We must make a bracha. We must come to recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of all things, and all things return back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'iloi baruch ikri gazlan, and if a person doesn't make a bracha, they're referred to as a gazlan, that they've stolen, they've taken something from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. L'gabe HaKadosh Baruch Hu, k'dichsiv, as the pasuk says, goizel aviv v'imo, that a person steals from their father or their mother, in the secret of aviv v'imi azavuni, losing out on the chachma and bina, being without moichen. That's the secret of stealing from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ha'ukma chavraya, but the chavraya, the love and the friendship and the connectivity and the yichudim between friends have already fixed this. All of this disparity, really, ha'ukma chavraya really means, but they already discussed it. But over here on Tu B'Av, what it means also is the secret that, we see that there's a period, if I don't make a bracha magazlan and I lose chachma and bina, and therefore I'm devoid of moichin, ha'ukma chavraya, but the chavraya came along and they were making this davar. Because the secret of the chavraya is the secret of b'chavivusa, talya milsa, and the secret of love and connection, and the secret of hayosheves, baganim, chaverim, makshivim, those who sit together in the gardens, listening to one another. Zak the Heilig Zohar Kadosh, and Rabbi Nassan brings it down. Lashon ganim is lashon gnus, gnusa da alma. People who sit in the filth of this world, in the concealment of this world, in the tzimtzum of this world, but they listen to one another and they sit and they speak to one another. That itself is going to be the hamtaka. That the chavraya kadisha is the secret of chibur, of talking to Kadosh Baruch Hu like I talk to a friend. So the chavraya already came with the medicine that was going to fix this problem that comes about by not making a bracha, because not making a bracha is disconnection from above to below and believing that something exists below without a fundamental, rooted, continuous, infinite source above. And so if I don't make a bracha, I cut off that connection and it's no longer good. The world is no longer good. It's only good after I make a bracha. Sha'akol nihiyeh b'dvaro, baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam, tov ma'od, choy katoiv lehetiv. And so if I don't make a bracha, I make a period between above and below, and that's a period of the das, and there's no more good. And it turns into an oi. But ukma chavraya, the chavraya came along, and they said as follows: begin to birchin the baruch barnash the Kadosh Baruch Hu, as a result of the blessings that a person blesses towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Osya la'amshache hayayin me'em rekoyre dechaya l'shmei the Kadosh Baruch Hu kadisha le'istavka alaya mehahu mishcha ilah. That in the schus of making brachos, a person will merit to draw down the wine from its source. Hayayin me'em rekoyre. Hayayin me'em rekoyre dechaya, the wine from the source of life. The Shmaya, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, to draw down the light of Atika Kadisha to the Shem of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the secret of Zer Anpin, of Keser, into my own experience. And I draw by way of connection, and I connect from that lofty place. So we see that the Zohar Kadosh already in the Raya Mehemna, when it's describing the Hamshacha of Tova, when it's describing the goodness that draws down, it describes that collective goodness as what? As the Yayin Me'Bekoyra Dechaya, the wine from the source of life. And this is going to be very important as we go into the next part of the Zohar that we're going to be discussing, because why is all bracha referred to as Yayin? And why is Tu B'Av so connected to Yayin? And why is the 15th letter in the Aleph base, which is the Osamech, is a grape? It's a grape. What's the association between the day of Tu B'Av, the secret of the Samech, which is the secret of the grape, the secret of the Yayin and the Anav and the Anavim? And we see in Chazal, in Tainus, we see explicitly so many of the connectivities between Tu B'Av and wine. It was a day that was celebrating the harvest of the grapes for the new year. It was a day where Bnos Yerushalayim, Bnos Yisrael would go out to the Karamim, they would go out to the vineyards, celebrating the transition and the processing of grape into wine and wine emergence from its grape. So what's the connection between wine? And then we have in the Zohar Kadosh that Asil Amshacha Hayayin Me'Rekoyre Dechaya L'Shmaya D'Kadosh Kadisha. That the essential nature of blessing, we're about to see in the Zohar, the essential nature of blessing, the source of blessing is referred to as Yayin Me'Mekoyre Dechaya. And so there's a secret that along with the Suda of the Levyasan, which will have the Shor Habar and the Ziv Shaddai, there's also going to be, and we've discussed this, there's also going to be the Kois Shel Bracha. There's also going to be the cup of benching. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come around and he's going to want to fill the cup of benching with what? With the Yayin HaMeshumer Ba'anavav Me'Sheshes Me'Bereshis. With the wine that is still contained within its grapes from the original 6 days of creation. Wine contained within its grape represents the paradox of potential actualizing itself prior to actually exiting the pure state of potential. That we live in a world of separation between potential and actualization, and obviously we're not going to, hopefully we won't get too drawn off with this Nakuda. This is a fundamental Nakuda, obviously. But all separation comes from the separation between potential and actualization, which comes about from the perspective that in order for potential to be actualized, it needs to actually actualize itself from a state of potential. And that's from a human perspective. But from the perspective of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as the Heilige Ramak points out in the Leshem and the Rebbe Rashab and all of the tzaddikim, Paskin Lahalacha, that Moshe Emes v'Sarasa Emes, when it comes to the Ramak, that's only true when it comes to human beings. But by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the koyach is not chaser from the pa'ula. Potential is not deficient in relationship to actualization, in the sense that it lacks actualization as we understand it. But in truth, potential is a form of actualization that doesn't need to exit the grape. The revelation is fully there even prior to the need for the revelation to take shape, and it's the hamtakas hadinim b'shayroshim and the secret of ki'ilu lo yatsa klal, as if nothing ever happened, that hakara, that the tzimtzum never actually happened. And it's the secret of kahaden kamsa de levusha minei. That's the secret of the yayin hamashumar ba'anav, of the wine that's still contained within the grape. The wine is the secret of tzimtzum, the process of emergence and crushing and ingathering and all of the different malachos that are associated with the laborious process of refining something to it becomes the concept of wine. And wine is a concept of chashivos. It's the Rebbe has already paskin, like Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, that it has nothing to do with the alcohol content of itself. It rather has to do with the chashivos. It's not about intoxication. It's about the chashivos of the wine, the chashivos of a tachlis. And that the chiddush of Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach is that he was able to paskin that a person could be yotzei simchas yantif with grape juice. Why? Because it's about the geffen, it's about the grape. It's not about the intoxicating element. Intoxication is a matter of taste, and if a person can become intoxicated with the framework of the mind and the chashivas of an encounter with process and the beauty of process moving towards goal, then they don't need recourse to actual intoxication. But the secret of Yayin HaMashumer Ba'anavav is the secret of wine that is still contained within its grape, the impossible paradox of the final product prior to any need of expression. And that wine is going to be used for the Koshel Bracha. When did we see this wine before? This wine before was brought when Yitzchak Avinu asked Yaakov Avinu to go out and bring for him matmoinim, bring for him delicacies of this world, pleasantness and bitterness, as the Balatanya says, tre mine matmoinim, the ore that comes from the chesed and the ore that comes from the hamtakas adinim b'sharashim, that bitter taste that the Balatanya desired, and the secret of the tzike kedera, that pungent odor that Moshe Rabbeinu smelt, but he didn't know how to express the grandeur of Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Vod as the secret of the gilui of Elokus Melamata Lamala. And when Yaakov Avinu has to go out and be malabish himself in big day Esav Mamish, in the Midbar, with the death of the Midbar, all of the things that went wrong prior to Tu B'Av, and we're forced to enter into that place of Sheker, and we're forced to enter that place of Shadchanas, and the Or of Shadchanas is Sheker Doiver V'Kesef Noitel, the secret of Shidduch, as the Balatanya says, it's impossible for something so lofty to come about when a person is still stuck within the rigidity of this worldly orientation towards the limited concept of truth, which is this or that, and there's a momentary descent into the world of quote-unquote Sheker, which is the secret of the Nefesh HaShvela B'Shayrasha, which is a Torah of Sheker, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu threw the emes down and it shatters into a million pieces, and our job is dafka to be magala, a Torah of emes from within the sheker itself, that the secret of shadchanis is the secret of sheker doiver v'kesef noitel, that it's only through the hakara that this emes that we operate in accordance to, of Tisha B'Av, is not the emes la'amiso. The emes la'amiso is the tov av, is the secret of the uncovering of the yichud of lamala and lamata, the true ikr chiddush that the tzaddikim, who are the ikr shadchanim, are perpetually engaged in, which is the shidduch between Kudesh Baruch Hu and Knesset Yisrael. And so Yitzchak Avinu, as a result of wanting to gain those brachos from the shorish of Gevura and to give it over to Yaakov, Yaakov was forced to enter into a place through the insight alone of Rivka, which is a secret of Malchus B'Sharasha, which is a secret of elevating Sheker back up to the Emes La'amiso, as the Baal Tanya describes. So when Yaakov Avinu goes out into that place, and he comes back in, and Yitzchak Avinu smells reach begadav, reich boigdav, the lies and the treachery that Klal Yisrael will be forced to descend into, in the secret of Neira Alila al Bnei Adam, and all of the things that went wrong, Pilegesh Begiva Rebbeinu Shalom. All of those things that went wrong are rooted in that secret place of Neira Alila, where Yitzchak Avinu smells the depth of the goodness of each and every Jew, no matter what orientation. Each of the four levels of a person are expressed in the four types of Benos Yerushalayim that would go out into the Krumim. Ashirus, Anius, beautiful, ugly, all four of them. The truth, what the Rebbe said last night, is that we have to look upwards, that Tsu'u Einechem, look up, not to any of the four variations of how Malchus expresses itself, but rather to the Kutza Shel Yud, that's called all of them, and the secret of the Tzaddik Emes, who's called all of the differentiation into a singular unity. And in that place where Yitzchak Avinu smells the reich of Gan Eden, Yaakov Avinu had an intuition. He didn't only bring the matmoinim, he didn't only bring the gifts from the field that Rivka had prepared, but he also drew down the Yayin HaMashomer Ba'anav of Misheshis Mebereshis, Yayin Chadasin, as the Targum says. Yayin Chadasin, the secret of Bina. He understood what Yitzchak Avinu wanted most, which was the Hamtakas Adinim B'Sharashim, which is why Yitzchak loved Esav, because he saw that shirish of Rabbi Akiva. What Yaakov was saying is that I am Rabbi Akiva. I have the koyach of going through Rabbi Akiva. You want me to enter into the world of Sheker? Fine, give me Torah Shabbal Peh. Torah Shabbal Peh, as the Balatanya says, is that entrance into the Sheker of Esav and the ability to ascend it upwards, and drawing down that Yayin HaMashumer Ba'anavav, the Samach Masechtos of Shas, the secret of Ois Samach in the Aleph Beis, the secret of Tu B'Av, the secret of Toiv B'Av, is the secret of this Yayin HaMashumer. The secret of drawing down connection from above to below and below to above, potential non-actualization. And that's the secret of the ayin that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to bring to the Koshel Bracha, the Suda of Elav Yasam. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come to each and every one of the Shiva Haroim. And he's going to offer them to bench. And Avram's not going to be able to bench. And Yitzchak's not going to accept upon himself the ability to bench. And Yaakov's not going to bench. And Moshe is not going to bench. And Aaron is not going to bench. Yosef is not going to bench until it comes to Dovid Malka Mashiach. And when it comes to David Malka Mashiach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, do you want a bench? David says, Ani yevarich v'li na'el levarich. I'm going to bench, and I'm the one who should bench. And that Azus the Kedusha of Malchus Kadisha, the secret of the lowest place, the lowest place, the lowest place coming out of Tisha B'Av, lowest place going into the Krumim, planting the feet firmly in the ground, and the secret of dancing, drawing down the highest to the lowest, and the secret of the Akvayim, which we just saw yesterday from Rabbeinu Haramchal, is the secret of Mashiach Mamish rests in the Akvayim. And when the Akvayim hit the ground, the reverberating light of Or Choizer that goes up to Or Yashar to be Ma'ir, the secret of Geula even prior to its time, and the secret of Be'ita Achishena, and that dance. And we draw down that light of bracha, we draw down that light of tov, we draw down that light of the oy. And where is it found most? It's found in Shas, it's found in Torah Sheba'al Peh. And Torah Sheba'al Peh begins with brachos. Torah Sheba'al Peh, the light of Rabbi Akiva, is the light of brachos. Is the light of bracha of the Rosh Tzaddik, the opening up of the Berecha Helyona, through the Mesiras Nefesh and the Mayin Nukvin that emerges from above, below to above, by way of Hakaras HaChisaron. By making a bracha, I'm drawing down light of lights from the highest imaginable places, as explained in the Matbea Bracha from Rabbeinu and Maran Harashash. We're drawing down the light of Atik Yoim, and we're drawing down the light of Malchus to Adam Kadmon. We're drawing down the light from the Olam HaAkudim. We're drawing down the light from Or Ein Sof Mamish, the only place that any Hoysafa and Hamshacha and Yichud and Zivug comes from. The sheker of the Shadchan is to reveal that no human being has the capacity of doing anything whatsoever without the infinite light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that moves through their meisim. That's the secret of Torah Sheba'al Peh. Torah Sheba'al Peh is the Yegias Basar and the Yegias HaSeichel and the Galus HaNefesh and the Sheker and all of the Ta'anos Shel Sheker and all of the movements and the Lumdus and this and that and the Tzveidinim and the breaking up and the breaking down and the reconnection and the disparity and all of the Chasuri Mechser. It's specifically from within that place that Hachik Pani. The tikkun comes from there, and we see that Torah Sheba'al Peh, it starts with brachos, as Rav Tzadok explains, as the Rambam explains in his Bir on the Mishnah, that it's the bracha of the ability to transform eating in this world, to rectify the sin of the Eitz Hadas, and to re-enter into the place of the secret of Gan Eden, which is the connectivity of Aleph Hey Vav Hey, Es HaShamayim Ve'es HaAretz, and the secret of Tov. And the secret of Tov, and the secret of the emergence of that Tes of Tisha B'Av into the Tov Av, into the secret of the goodness that exists within each and every letter. And brachos is the Gemara that begins with me'emasai. It begins with anxiety, it begins with fear and the motivation out of concern to cry out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the depths of exile. It represents the 9 prakim of brachos, which is the secret of the tov of brachos, which is the bracha l'rosh tzaddik, that all we can do is to be mitzapeh to the bracha of HaKadosh Baruch Hu ad b'li dai. Harikoisem lachem bracha ad b'li dai. The only need that we have to do is to recognize the ad b'li dainess of it, and that's the opening up of the bracha. And brachos l'rosh tzaddik, Maseches Brachos, begins with the secret of Zaman Nakat Zroim, Hazorim Bedima Berina Yiksaru, the secret of Shidduch, the secret of concealment giving way to revelation, and Riv giving way to Shalom, and Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben Dovid being mitchaber together, the secret of Rabbeinu and the Shpaler Zayda being mitchaber together, the secret of the Or HaElyon that comes about by way of the concealment of the Hava Amina on the path towards the Maskana, where the Hava Amina itself is revealed to be a fundamental part of the Giloi of everything. And that secret of the Hava Amina of Galus that gives way to the final Maskana of Geula, and it's going to be so much more beautiful and powerful because the real Hava Amina of Galus. As Rav the Heiliger of Simcha Bunim says, that a person has to take Havaminas and Shas seriously because Ganz Welt is a Havamina. All of existence is still a Havamina until the Maskana comes to reveal retroactively how everything was rooted in that infinite blessing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That Or Ein Sof, Mei Ein Sof. And when we come to the depth of Maseches Brachos, the Parak Vav in Maseches Brachos, the Ems of Maseches Brachos, what a person finds is the proliferation of Prat and Klal and Iker and Tafel and the differentiation of species and the need to attempt to define what the species is and the razor-sharp logic and the impossible logic of what it means to understand the depth of what one thing is in distinction from what the other thing is and how to properly develop real separation between essence and inessential, something that directs the mind to the highest place of Keser Elyon, where all the Prat and the Klal are unified, which is why Brachos is Bo Keser. It's specifically in the Emsa of Brachos, in the Parak Vav, in the Chut HaShedra of Brachos, that a person encounters all of the Pirud, all of the pirud, all of the separation, all of the question of klal and prat, simsum and giloi, but it's specifically from there that the bracha emerges. It's specifically from that place of the riboy pratim, of the prate pratim, as the Torah Chacham teaches us, in the secret of the Rashash, in the secret of Rabbeinu Ha'arizal, in the secret of Rabbi Shimon, in the secret of Rabbi Akiva, in the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu. That it's specifically from there in the place of the pratim, after the Tisha B'Av, that we're going to come to the true secret of the zivug, which is the secret of the chibur afterwards. The secret of the chibur afterwards that comes about by way of connection. And that's the kos of bracha of Dovid Malka Mashiach. The kos Yeshua's Esu b'Shem Hashem Ekra is Yeshua is the Hamtakas Adinim. From within the concealment itself, the blessing is going to emerge. That's why I can make the bracha, says David. I live the life of concealment, and I transform that life into bracha. The urgency of the need to draw down the bracha of HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our lives because we can't do it without him. The need on a Tisha B'Av to come to the place of that I won't survive until I see Tov Av, the goodness in every element of the Aleph Beis, in each and every one of the Osios, the chibur between Shemayim and Aretz, and the in-between place that I represent as an individual with a neshama and a body, the Chiddush of Nishmas Yisrael, that's the kesher of each and every Os. That only comes about by way of the concealment. That only comes about by way of the shakla v'tari of the Gemara. And that's the secret of Eikev Tishma'un, the secret of Maseches Brachos, the secret of drawing down the light from the pratim to be megalazayin on the light of the klal, and the chibur that comes about afterwards, and the secret of Tu B'Av. That's why there was no simcha like the day of Tu B'Av, because it's the joy that comes about afterwards, where we transform the oy into a tov, where we transform that awareness of disconnection into the very vibrancy and the vitality that gives birth to the engine that drives more and more connection. And the secret of Kedushasi L'Mala Mikdushaseichem, the fact that there will never be a full grasp, is what drives the desire to properly move each and every moment to get to a place of more and more. And with that, we'll enter into the Zohar Kadosh and the secret of bracha. So the Zohar says on Daf Reish Ayin Aleph, in the Raya Mehemnim Parshas Eikev. And we'll come back to the kos of David HaMelech in a second. Baruch, what's the secret of Baruch? Baruch is where I refer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu by way of transcendence. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is beyond me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's infinitude far transcends my capacity to grasp any notion of a limited relationship with him. The notion of identifying HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu about my needs, about who I am, of assuming that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has any relationship to reality and relationship to the grand infinitude of the infinite impossibility of even beginning to try and understand HaKadosh Baruch Hu's infinitude. That's the state of Baruch. It represents Keser, it represents the highest place. This is the ascendant, transcendent source of all things. La'arkul amshachal anhara kol butzinin. Al kol butzinin, as the Shla says. That the goal is to reach up to that highest place imaginable. When a person says Baruch, their mind is meant to ascend to that impossible point of blackness that precedes any possibility of lack of awareness or awareness. Either one, that impossible point of Mesiras Nefesh is where the mind goes to in Baruch. It goes up to the infinite place, to the place of Yeshesh Seisech Sisro, Yeshev Choshech Sisro. That up there, the highest place is a Choshech. It's revealed only in the light of Yitzchak Avinu, in the light of Sagi Nahor, of the wine that is not yet revealed. The Makayru Dekula, the secret of the Ayin B'Sharasha, and the Arkul Amshachal Anhara Al Kol Butzinin. And the goal is then to allow it to open up like a Brecha Elyoina and to be Mevarich and to draw together the pipelines to draw down that blessing. The Arkul Amshachal Anhara, to open it up, to draw it down, and to illuminate all Butzinin, all the dried up flames that rest in this worldliness and the secret of Zer Anpin. To draw the light of Keser, of Atik and Arich down to Zer Anpin. V'ihu Baruch, and that's the secret of Baruch. Tadir delay paskin meimoy. The water never stops. The water of Baruch never stops. The water of Baruch never stops. The opening stops sometimes. As the Heilige Tiferes HaChanochi says, what does it mean that a person is a gazlan to HaKadosh Baruch Hu if they eat? Why are they not a ganav? Because the gazlan is only stealing from himself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not losing out if I don't make a bracha. I'm stealing away from myself the awareness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs every element of existence, and that everything that appears to be a devoid prat, that is disconnected from the life-giving vitality of the infinite light and water of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol, the Meimei and the Or Ein Sof, which represent obviously the waves and the particles of the same thing, that I steal that away from myself when I don't make a bracha. I'm not detracting from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is everywhere revealed, whether I like it or not. The secret of the bracha is opening it up and drawing it down to illuminate my life. I'm stealing from myself. I'm not stealing from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm stealing HaKadosh Baruch Hu away from myself. I'm missing out on the opportunity of that awareness. And from there, from that ascendant place of Baruch, we then connect ourselves to the place of Chachma and Bina, which is the secret of Alma Da'asi, V'yuketzah Shemayim. And this Baruch, which represents the emergence of Alma Da'asi, is Ketzah Shemayim. It's the edge of the heavens. It's the highest imaginable place that the mind can reach prior to the disorientation of the mind, which forces itself into the Mesiras Nefesh of Emunah. Tahahi Ketzah Iloihu, that place of Baruch, of allowing my mind to ascend all the way upwards to realize how little I know about anything, especially the thing that rests in my hand right now, which is this object that I'm about to partake in, which is this food, which is this drink, the secret of Makasha Ruchni Bagashmi, and then to draw that awareness of not knowing anything down into Baruch and realizing that Rebbeinu Shleilam, I'm drawing down from the highest places. And then Alma Da'asi comes down. It's referred to as Ketza Ilah, begin the is Ketza Kegavna Dalatata. And the reason that Baruch is referred to as reaching up to the highest place is because that implies that there's also the reality of a lower place. A lower place. Because the goal is to connect above and below. There's no Shemayim without Aretz. It's Shemayim and Aretz. Es HaShemayim ve'es Ha'aretz. Tov is the unification of above and below, the unification of opposites, the secret of Shiduchim. The secret of the Yud Kei Vav Kei being Makusher into the Kutzah Shel Yud, all four types. The beautiful, the miyuchas, the rich, and the ugly. All four types, Makusher to the Kutzah Shel Yud, because we're all four. Each and every one of us are all four. And the secret of bracha is to reach up above to the upper limit and draw it down to the lower limit. The ihu alma tata, this worldliness. The ikra yafachi baruch lakabel tata la'arka latata lasari mitata la'ela bebarchin detzlusa. And it's also referred to as baruch because it's also a dual position where I am also emerging from below to above. Bracha is the recognition from below to above is that I can't do this without your Rebbeinu Shleilam. I have nothing without your bracha. I have empty hands. The only thing my hands can do is open themselves up to bracha. That's the only thing. The only thing that the hands can possibly do is to come to terms with vayu yadav emuna, that there's emuna in the hands, and that the hands are opened in the secret of bracha l'rosh tzaddik, in the secret of su'u yedechem kodesh u'baruchu es Hashem, raise your hands up and draw down the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the secret of Netilas Yadayim, which the Zohar Kadosh also discusses, and only then can we come to use our hands with strength. But that's the secret of Tefillah. Tefillah emerges from below to above. Bracha is drawing down, and Birchas Hanen is the Hakara of everything is rooted in the infinite place above, drawing down to the revealed place below. And the bracha coming from above to below, and the secret of the Mayim Nukvin that are Ma'ir, the Mayim Duchrim, and the human effort that is Ma'ir, the divine inspiration, and in truth revealing that divine inspiration itself, Kavyachal, is what was revealing the human effort, so that even human effort is a divine gift. And the secret of Eschanan El Hashem Be'esahi, that's the only tefillah that remains. And that's going to be a unification of the hands from above to below and from below to above. That's Baruch. Baruch da ikri hacha berazet de chachmasa ilah. And over here, when we talk about Baruch, even though it represents that transcendent, infinite place, the orientation that we want to set our minds to is the secret of Chachma, because now everything comes into Chachma through Chachma, because the Chachma of Adam Kadmon Kavyachol and the Chachma of Atzilus, as the Baal Tanya writes in the Haggah, is that's the only place that the Or Ein Sof can rest. Why? Because there's bittul there. The secret of goodness is bittul. When the Ben Adam is mevatel themselves, they don't get rid of themselves, but they allow themselves to own their shlichus and become a shliach, to be mechaber shmaim and aretz, and they stop being a gazlan to themselves. And they stop stealing from their mind, and they don't allow themselves to connect to the light of unity. So we have to draw it down through Chachma, which is going to be the accessible form of unity. The Ismali Lahu Eser Bahar Bahad Shvil Dakik the Ayilbe. So the secret of Baruch is that we're drawing down from the light of Keser to be Ma'ir, the Yichud of Abba and Ima, of Chachma and Bina. So that infinite light that is being accessed by way of not having any grasp whatsoever, Hasag B'derach Shlila, and that there's a place of Baruch and there's a place of goodness that emerges. Then it's drawn down to unify Chachma, which is the generalized form of Bittul to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, into the light of Bina, which is the particularization of the self, to then be drawn down from the Zer Anpin into Malchus, and then from Malchus up to Zer Anpin in the secret of Tefillah, which is the Birurim. That's the word Baruch. Baruch represents the infinite light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, transcendent, transcendent, transcendent. And then there's Ata. And suddenly we go from Baruch, which is a transcendent encounter of a third-person relationship that I don't know you, I can't grasp you, I can't measure you, I can't limit you, I have no relationship with you. Achen ata kel mistater, Anoichi hastir astir es panei beyomahu, the infinitude of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is expressed in the Churban itself, as Rabbi Nachman points out, that the infinitude of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a choy katoiv lahetiv, irrespective of whether we like it or not. It's not in accordance with the toiv hanira v'hanigla. And we don't want things to only operate in accordance to that place. The job of Yid in the secret of Yisrael and Av, Ayir, and Dvekus, which is Ayid, which is the Avodah of a Ben Adam, is to be mamshich, the Brecha Elyona, down the Mata into the Olam Hazeh. Into the Olam Hazeh, and we have to draw that down because we want it to be a Toiv Hanira V'Hanigla. And that's the secret of Ata. Then suddenly we encounter the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu face to face. We enter in. Bazos Yavo Aaron El HaKodesh. Suddenly, by reaching all the way upwards and drawing it down to the unity of Chachma and Bina, suddenly it's Ata. You're there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How, what, where, when, I have no idea. I've never known, I'll never know. I'll continue to try and know. But all I know is that you are here right now. Ata. Ata. Ata Imadi. Ata Imadi. You're with me. Dam kilich begeit samaves lo ira roki ata imadi. You. Do. You. The face-to-face encounter of my HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'hu Eli, my relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in accordance with the trappings of my mind and my heart and my inner reality. And in that place, it's Ata. Suddenly, it's a face-to-face encounter with Rebbeinu Shleilim, the biggest miracle of all miracles. The ability to have a relationship with that which is impossible in any relationship form. The secret of the infinite being drawn down into the vessels of finitude without losing its infinitude. That's the secret of Ata. I can't grasp you, I can't name you, but I know you. I know you deeply. Ki Ata imadi. Ata. And that place of Ata, lebasar shari le'esgalia. After we reach all the way up to that impossible place of hiddenness and we draw it down through the yichud of Chachma and Bina, and this is taking place in every bracha, then I draw it down, lebasar shari le'esgalia, I draw it down into a place of revelation. The ha-hai baruch sasim ihi. Because baruch is concealed, it's not revealed, it's sasim, it's there, but it's not revealed. And what we want is toiv hanira v'hanigla. We want the yichud bein ha'hafachim, we want the zivugim, we want the shiduchim, we want the unification, we want the lo hayu yom toivim. Ketuba Av, the secret of the transformation of the Tisha B'Av into the Tov, Aleph Beis, and the secret of the connectivity that rests in every single tzimtzum. Every os is a tzimtzum. Every os is a tzimtzum, and every os is the connection between the infinite and the tzimtzum itself. Through the person who is saying the os. That a person has to hear the osios, see the osios, say the osios, know the osios. Gaze at the osios, look at the osios, because when we utter the osios, then chav yachol, which is the chaf beis yachol, we draw down the osios from above, down through us, which is an os, into the osios lamata, and then we elevate the osios lamata through us, which is an os, and we bring it back up to the os ha'elyon, which is the shem havaya bali osios, where it's the revelation of the engravings of engravings, and the impossible revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in front of our eyes in the secret of Ata. Labasar sharia le'eskalia daha hai baruch sasim ihu. It's concealed there. We don't want it there. But we want it lefi erech, our understanding. Toiv hanira v'hanigla, as the Heilige Chayzim Melablin said, and the Rebbe said this last night in Tuba Avtish, that the Heilige Chayzim Melablin said that he wants toiv hanira v'hanigla in accordance with the heart's desire of each and every yid in the secret of bitachon ha'amiti of Reshad Lo Yada. And that secret of the Chayzim Melablin, who only wanted goodness for Klal Yisrael, only wanted Mashiach Tzidkenu for Klal Yisrael, only wanted Choy Katoiv Lehetiv, but in accordance with Hatoiv Hanira V'Hanigla. And the Chayzim Melablin said that every Yeshua that each and every person in Klal Yisrael has, each and every prat, is the very vehicle that's going to be Ma'oyer, the Toiv HaKlali, and the Yeshua HaKlali. That within the Toiv Hanira V'Hanigla of my personal joy, my personal connectivity of Shemayim and Aretz, my personal zivug and shidduch in this moment, each and every person has infinite shidduchim and zivugim that they are making in each and every moment. Those are the Yechudim and the Pirudim and the Yechudim and the Pirudim and the Ratzav V'Shoiv, Kamara HaBezek, and the secret of Yichud, Bracha, and Kedusha, and the secret of Baki Baratza, Baki B'Shov. That's the life of a person and the secret of the Hisgalus of a Kadosh Baruch Hu in the light of their own minds. Bein Shnei Kruvim, where a person has a real ability to think of a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, until Rabbeinu came along to be Machadesh, the old path of secret discussions and diburim with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mesim Nafsha B'Kapo, of literally using our osios to develop a personal relationship in the secret of Hisboidedus. Not only the Bnos Yishlaim going out to the Kramim, but Anshe Yisrael going out into the forests, going out into the forests of their heart to encounter the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the secret of the Oisamich, of the Aleph base, which is Tuba of, which is the secret of the Peh, that's Poseach itself to speak, and the secret of Soimech Hashem L'chol HaNoiflim, the secret of the Smicha of Kedai Lismoch, is the secret of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai speaking words of Torah, which were a personal conversation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which gives birth to the secret of Hisboidedus, and the secret of talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu like one talks to a friend, in the secret of what we said before, V'ha'ukma Chavraya, the secret of Chavivusa Talia Milsa, of Ahava Techaseh al Kol Psha'im, of Rachmana Shapoda Es Ahava. And Ata is the Basar Shari Le'eskalia, the Ha'hai Baruch Sasimihu, it's hidden. We begin Kach Ikri Ba'urach Sasim. And that's why when I say Baruch, I'm orienting myself to a transcendent orientation towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, infinite, beyond all modes of infinitude. Yichud Ilah, 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 Ilah. And then Baruch me Makarid the Kula, from the highest place, the Loy Iskalia, the secret of Rachel Lois Yada, where Lo is Iskalia. The impossibility of grass is revealed. Ata Sherusa Le Iskalia, Labaru begin Kach Ikra Ata. But Ata means that you are now being revealed in front of me. You are now being revealed. Ata, you're right here. Baruch Ata, I'm calling to you. As the Balatanya says, that when a person wants to call out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that they call out their name, and the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Torah HaKadosha, which is Baruch Ata, Birchas HaTorah, Shelo Birchu Birchas HaTorah B'tchila, which is the secret of Alma Avdu Haaretz. When did Aretz become dislodged from Shemayim? It was because Lo Birchu Birchas HaTorah B'tchila, we weren't mamshech, the secret of the Berecha Elyon of Torah Lishma, into the Proteus of the Osios. We begin Kach Nekar Ata. Ata is the Aleph through the Taf, through the Hemot So Sapeh. Uman ihu da raza de yamina de ikre kohen legabe hahu eser. Raza da ata kohen laolam man kohen lahahu olam ata. V'da ihu yamina ilo da ishkachich le'eskalia. Secret of Ata is the secret of Kichoy Katoiv Lahetiv, is the secret of the Kohen La'el Elyon. Secret of Avram Avinu Echad Haya Avraham, drawing down the light of unity, into the Arfel, into the Arafel itself. As Rav Avram ben Rav Nachman, as the Rebbe said last night, describes in Echad Haya Avram, that Avram was Ma'ached, he was the first bracha to be Machaber Shemayim and Aretz. B'cha, and that secret of the Yichud of Shemayim and Aretz, and that secret of Aleph Hey Vav Hey, and that secret of Das, and that secret of Laman Das Kol Amei Haaretz Ki Hashemu Elokim, the Yichud of above and below, the Yichud of Hashem Elokim, the Yichud and the Zivug and the Shiduchim and all of the Yeshuos Pratius of Klal Yisrael. That's the secret of Kohen L'Kel Elyon. The secret of Avram Avinu is the secret of the Choy Katoiv Lahetiv, the Chesed Debayim Kol Yuma, the light of Chachma that's mislabish within Bina to be mashpia down the mata, to be Megalazain and the Toif Hanira V'Hanigla. That's the secret of Ata. That's the secret of the unity between the connection of above and below. And this is the secret of the Kos of Dovid Malka Mashiach. The Kos of Dovid Malka Mashiach is this secret of Ata. Because what I saw in Motzei Shabbos was an incredible teaching from the Avodas Yisrael, from the Heilige Koshnitzer Magid, Chaver Yedid Nefesh of the Heilige Choyze, and a compatriot in the bringing of Mashiach Tzidkenu and the secret of Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. And there's a teaching that he has in the beginning of Eschanan, which is exactly what we need to see now to draw this Zohar Kadosh into the light of the Kos of David HaMelech, and we can try and understand why in the Raya Mahemna all bracha is really referred to as the shirish of yayin, the asya shirish achaya, the secret of the yayin hamashumer ba'anav of mesheshis mibereshis, and why that's the shirish that Yaakov Avinu wanted to be ma'orer by Yitzchak Avinu, and that's why Dafka David HaMelech, the one who is chaste and is forced to reveal ki ata imadi, you're here with me right here in hell, you're here with me right here in concealment, you're with me. Right here in the lowest place imaginable, you're with me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, lo irara ki ata imadi, I fear nothing because I access that low, the album, that secret of not knowing anything at all and reaching upwards to the infinite source of bracha and drawing down the real bracha, which is the ikr bracha, which is emuna, this is the Seder of Zraim, which is the shirish of brachos, because a person doesn't plant anything without knowing that it's going to be obliterated and disintegrate, and placing trust in the ultimate source of all teva, which is the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zok the Heilige Koshnitzer Magid, Ata Hachiloisa, you have began to show greatness to your servants, says Moshe Rabbeinu to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu enters that place of Ata, that place of face-to-face encounter. That place of the Oitzer Matnas Chinam, when we realize that there's nothing left for us to give up on, we force HaKadosh Baruch Hu to help us. That's the secret of Ve'eschanan El Hashem Ba'esahi Lemor. As the Heilige Chayza said, that Ba'esahi is Ba'es Ikvasa the Mashiach, the secret of Nukva, the secret of Ateres Ba'ala, the secret of Eishes Chayla Ateres Ba'ala, the secret of the circle dance, the secret of the Oisamach, the secret of the equanimity that emerges where Nekeva to Soiviv Gever, in spite of the fact that Kedushasi Labalam Kedushasechem, and there's still always going to be infinite gradations of growth in the secret of the Zer Anpin always being higher than Malchus herself, and the secret of Af al Pi Kain, that ultimately the secret of Yichud is the secret of the Peh, the secret of the Peh, the Ak, the secret of the Gilui of Malchus Elyon, which is Megalazain, on the secret of the circle, the Igulim, the Osamech of the Aleph base, which is Tu B'Av, and the secret of the equanimity and the equality of all things, which the circle dance represents, and it's the awareness that Miriam Haniviyah and all of the feminine qualities of existence had at Az Yashir prior to the song of the masculinity, which is still gradations of development and growth, which is the secret of yes or no and up and down. The secret of the circle is the secret of Igulim, which is Zeh Hashem Kivinulo, where each and every person reveals that they have an equidistant relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And in spite of the fact that that place of Malchus Ataras Ba'ala, which reveals the reorientation towards everything and how all of the Gevurah is going to be revealed to be sweetened and that we don't have to do anything at all, nevertheless, the secret is their anpin, which we return to afterwards, the secret of Shem Havaya, the secret of the Torah Kadosha, which is always above the Kedusha of Malchus. And that's the secret of Af al Pikain, that the Af, which is the nose, which is their anpin, which is the need for continuous growth, will always be above the mouth. Af al Pi, the Af is always going to be above the mouth, and that's the way we're going to access the place of Cain. That's the place that we're going to access the growth orientation of saying yes to the world, and the secret of Baruch Sha'amar V'Haya Ha'olam. And that's the secret of Tu B'Av, that the recognition of the grand unity, that everything is equal when I access matnas chinam, because all people are equally impoverished in the face of HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we orient ourselves to the secret of Leis L'Legami Klum and the secret of Malchus. Nevertheless, the goal is to ascend from there to a place of Ata. And so the Heilige Kashnitzer Magid says that in truth, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has absolutely no limit whatsoever. And he quotes his Heilige Rebbe, the Magid of Mezrich, the mouth Kavyachol of the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, Moreno Arav Doiv Ber, Masha Amri B'Zohar Kadosh Ata Tam and Gachen Reisha, that when you come to the word Ata, you encounter the head, you encounter the highest place imaginable. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is compassionate on us, because Ata represents the fact that I can have a relationship with you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That Shehiyeh be'efshari v'koyacha enoishi lamoid lefanav yisbaruch hu ledaber ito lenoichach kemedaber el re'ehu kemoy benusach kol habrachos baruch Ata. The radical chiddush that comes down from the secret of Ata, the nace of Ata, is that there's the possibility within the mensch, within creation, to stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to speak to him, peh el peh, kemedaber ishel re'ehu, like Moshe Rabbeinu, and all of us have that capacity when we enter into the avodah of Hispoidus, we encounter the peh el daber bo. And the secret of the lashon of Baruch Ata, first I am aware of the Baruch, and then, only then am I aware of the Ata. Only then am I aware of the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mamash here with me. Uhu meirov anvanas nuso v'ha'araso ha'mishtalshel el ha'adam l'ha'ir el aver panav v'hu ata hachiloisa. This is the secret of the infinite place that HaKadosh Baruch Hu really exists in, and the willingness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to allow us to play with the brachos, to draw down bracha l'reish tzaddik, and revealing the light of the infinite down here below. Because in truth, it should be usher in all forms of isser to apply any limitation to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, any formation, any limitation, any definition, as the Heilige Kashnitzer explains over here. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is infinite, eish oklo, there's no graspability, kedushasi l'malam kedushasechem. But nevertheless, we can say Ata. How is that possible? And this is where we're going to the coast of Dovid HaMelech, and the avoid of Dovid HaMelech, and the avoid of Tu B'Av, and the avoid of Tov Roi, which is the secret of Dovid Malka Mashiach. Dovid is Malchus, which is the Osios themselves, devoid of significance, empty signifiers, broken stones that have shattered in the destruction of language and the loss of meaning and the loss of signification. But it's specifically there that Dovid Malka Mashiach is going to be Megalazain on the Koishel Bracha, on the Koishel Bracha of taking broken Osios and transforming them into the Sefer of Tehillim, into the secret of transforming the mouth into a place of hispoidus, where a person can be megalazan, the secret of Ata, the secret of connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's all talui in the midah of Dovid, and all of us are the midah of Dovid. All of us are Malchus. So this is where the kos of Dovid comes in. What's the kos of Dovid? The coast of Dovid tell us, this coast that David HaMelech is going to make bracha on by the Suda of Lav Yasan, in Gehenim, when we say Zah Hashem Kivinu Lo, because the only place we've said already in the name of the Tzaddikim for this Suda to take place, where each and every person can point to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say, this is the real HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I already knew this even prior to me knowing that I knew it. Zeh Daika Taka Sudem God Hatir Gehep. This is the God, this is the way that I thought about HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the most important, meaningful, hopeless moments of my life, and suddenly you're revealing to be fundamentally true. I knew I was right all along. I knew you were that big. I knew you were that powerful. I knew I was still okay no matter what. I knew there was nothing that could take me away from you. And now you're revealing yourself to be exactly as I thought you to be. And that's the secret of Zeh Hashem Kivinu Lo, and it can only take place in Gehenim, in the place of Olam HaAsiyah, in the place of the Shir Meruba, where everything is unfolding into the very churning of the physical body itself. That's the kisei of Dovid. And that kisei of Dovid, that the Kasa of Dovid, the Kos of Dovid, and that Kos of Dovid, Chazal tell us, is Reish Chaf Aleph Lugan. Hoisi Revaya, my cup overfloweth. Yayin HaMeshumer Ba'anav Mesheshis Mebereshis. Partaking of the wine without ever having to drink of the wine. Overflowing cup, making a bracha on an overflowing cup. Al Kos Yayin Malay, meaning even after I make the bracha, it's a Malay. It's full. That I don't have to partake it. It remains in the grape itself, like the egg and the shirish of the egg and the etzam haluz, as we saw from Rabbi Nachman. And it's 221 measures. That's the secret of Koisi Revaya. The osios of Reish Chaf Aleph, those Lugan, the Reish Chaf Aleph Lugan of David HaMelech's cup are the osios of Aleph Reish Chaf, Erech Hapayim, Rav Chesed V'emes, the secret of Keser. The secret of drawing down the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu into the Yesh itself, Kaviyachol, to take shape in the secret of Choy Katoiv Lahetiv into Toiv Hanira Ba'anigla, the secret of Arach Anpin, the secret of the Shirish of Yegia, the secret of the Malchus in its Shirish Ha'elyon, where the self feels that it's really playing its role prior to coming back to the highest level of Ayin Hayota Shirashi, which is the Ayin, the Ani of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the secret of Atik. The secret of Arach is the Hisayrus to engage in Avoida down here. But how could it be? How could it be that a person can access this light of Arich? How can it be that a person develops a real cup of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Why was David HaMelech able to do this? Zok the Heilig HaKashon Tzemagid. Ki David HaMelech alav hashalom hayatamid nirdaf mibrei adam u'mesukan mamish lamavis b'yadeihem. That David HaMelech always perpetually found himself in a state of being chased by people, by concepts, by things, in this world, in a state of existential threat on a real and imagined level, as our generation knows, and as all of Klal Yisrael's generations have always known, that there's a perpetual being chased, there's being in the wrong place at the wrong time, there's a lateness. It's a secret of Me'ema Saikar Nishma Arvis from when? Rabban Gamliel, Banav Shabram Gamliel come back in the first Mishnah and Brachos, and they say we missed time of Kriya Shema. The Tzaddik Yisod Olam's children are coming back, and they're saying we missed Kriya Shema because we were at a Beis HaMishta, we're at a wedding. There was Yayin. We weren't able to say Kriya Shema. Hidden within the very first Mishnah itself of Shas is the hidden secret of the mistakes and the deviations that are necessary to come upon the truth. And the secret of the first sugya of Shas being the ultimate secret of Milsa Agav Urcha Kamash Malan. That the secret of Shas and the secret of the Oisamech and the secret of Zivugim and the secret of Yichudim and the secret of Kitushin Deloihave, Kishutin Deloihave, all of that is fundamentally rooted in the circuitous route and the Nachash Aklason, in the circuitous route of the Matea Midbar and all of the difficult things. And it's specifically that sense of urgency that David HaMelech experienced in his life at every moment. Al Yedei Zeh Sham Nafshei B'Kapo, he placed himself into his words. He placed himself into a state of his poidus. V'hoichel u'mischadetz tamid ba'avodas Hashem b'machshavto hazacha be'ahav rab b'simchas levav v'shiros v'tishpachos and mesiras nefesh mamish. Shiros v'tishpachos, the secret of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Mesiras Nefesh, the secret of Rabbi Akiva, the secret of Vahaya Eikev Tishma'un. That in the time of Ikvas of the Mashiach, the fact that we can hear anything whatsoever is the biggest miracle. To hear the words of the tzaddikim, to hear the face of the tzaddikim, to hear the face of ourselves, to hear the voice of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that cries out from our own hearts. David HaMelech was in an existential state of being chased at every moment in his life, and that's what forced him into a state of urgency of having no other option other than fundamentally pulling the fire alarm on his Avodas Hashem and uncovering the most potent form of Avodas Hashem, which is Machshavto Hazacha, purifying my thoughts, fixing what I can fix. Be'ahava Rabba, with the secret of love and connectivity, and the secret of Es HaShamayim ve'es Haaretz. Be'simchas Levav, and the connection of joy in my heart. Levav is Lev HaTov and Lev Hara, Lev HaYetzer HaTov and Lev as we see the Kazan Tzemagid in his minimal haskama to Rabbeinu's Likutei Moharan, we see he refers to the words of Rabbi Nachman as words that are miyat hamachzik es meruba, small words that contain infinite expanses, as Rabbi Nachman describes that being the secret of Nishmas Yisrael and the secret of the tzaddik. And so too with the Kazan Tzemagid, the smallness in which this tzaddik is even revealed in even the slightest way, even by other than the tzaddikim amitim, that the light of the Kazan Tzemagid is the light of Tcheles, is the light of La'aseh Lavo, the secret of Ava Doichekes as Abasar, the secret of HaKadosh Baruch Hu being Mitzamsim himself. And so too, in the words of the Kazan Tzemagid, we have to see this secret that he saw in Rabbi Nachman's words, which is that they're miyat hamachzik as meruba. So it's only out of the existential intensity that a person places themselves into a place of only knowing how to sing and dance in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Dovid danced like a madman in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Michal comes along and says, did you empty yourself out like Echad Arekem? And he says, you haven't seen anything. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing. I have nothing but connection. Va'ani tefillah. And in that place, he transforms himself with Mesiras Nefesh Mamish. The Chavsha, what oriented that? Ma im yaharguni gam kein ani tzarich lachzor la'avi shebashamayim la'amod lefanav al yedei zeh himshich ha'erech lekoso rotze lama bechinaso. David HaMelech entered into a place of Mesiras Nefesh Mamish. He said, Rabbeinu Shalom, they might kill me in a second. My time might emerge right now, as the Heilige Rabbi Yitzchak, the Tana, reveals to his Talmidim in the secret of Tshuva. Hayomim Mikolu Tishmo, all I have is right now. And when all I have is right now, then the only way forward is L'chatchila Ariber, to dance like a madman, to ascend upwards, and to draw that light down into the coast. And that's the Reish Chaf Aleph Lugin of David Malka Mashiach's coast, which is emergent out of the forcing HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our lives and into measurement, because the Baruch is too much. Baruch doesn't do anything for me anymore. I know everything is fine. In Gehenna, I'll know everything is fine. In Gan Eden, I'll know everything is fine. But Olam Hazeh, as Rabbeinu cried out about, Olam Hazeh, which looks like Gehenna, Olam Hazeh is the place in the Shir Meruba that it needs to be revealed fundamentally that everything is fine. And that's the secret of David Malka Mashiach. David Malka Mashiach demanded, and he drew it down, and that's why he says, Ani yivarich v'li na'el levarich. Ani, my Ani de Kedusha, my Ani, the bittul muchletes of Malchus, of David Mashiach, of the secret of Mashiach Tzidkenu, is the Ani roichav al chamor, and the secret of Va'anachnu ma, and the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu, and the tzaddikim hagadolim that are mevata themselves, afilu legadolim b'fneihem, and the secret of the Melech Anav that is mevatel himself in order to reveal himself, to draw down that light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ani yivarich. Because I made this kli. I made this coast. How did I make this coast? From all of the gvuros and all of the urgency and all of the crying out to you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's how I made this coast. That's perhaps why the bracha, b'derech klal is referred to as Yayin HaMeshumer Ba'anav of Mesheshis Mebereshis, because it needs to be drawn down into the coast of David Malka Mashiach. David HaMelech, who's the empty osios with the capacity to draw down the secret of Tehillim within the osios, which Rabbi Nachman ends Sefer Likutei Moharan Chelik Beis with. Chelik Beis, the Nefesh HaBahamis, to a certain degree, which is why Chelik Beis starts with why Ben Adam is Yoter L'Malam and Amalach, because we come from Kisei HaKavod. We come from that place of the Kisei, Bekiso, Bekaiso, Bekaso, that a person will chest themselves in this world in accordance with their anger, with their wealth, and with their drinking. Those three areas of kas, which is the concealment, David HaMelech transformed the concealment into the measurements of the coast that is going to be the kosh shel bracha for the Suda of Lav Yasan, which is the cup of the Yayin HaMeshumer Ba'anav of Mesheshis and Mebereshis, which is the drawing down of that light of the bracha from the Brecha Elyona and drawing it down into the miracle of Baruch, of Ata, of drawing it down into Ata. To end this Nakuda, there's a Torah, Reish Nun Vav. Reish Nun Vav in Likutei Moharan. Reish Nun Vav is the secret of Ron. Ron is the anoichias, the kedusha of the tzadike emes, which are mevata themselves legamre, that they're mezachich themselves so much to the point that their utilization of anoichias, the utilization of the mata'os, of the descent down into particularity, into the Torah of Biyah, is so refined that it's ultimately just drawing Moshe Rabbeinu back into Eretz Yisrael. The bittul ha'muchletes of the tzadikim ha'amitim and the secret of Metatron and Ron, which is found in Olam Ha'asiyah. The Rebbe has been talking about how Metatron is the secret of the worlds of Bria, Yetzira, and Asiyah, in the worlds of the Shir Kaful, Meshulish, and Ruba, in the need of finding a Kadosh Baruch Hu within the gradational stages of concealment in our lives. So the Mem is corresponding to Bina, which is Bria. the tat, which is 18, corresponds to Olam HaYetziru, which is the place of Maisa HaMitzvos, and it's the place of Torah HaKadosh, which a person always has to reconnect themselves to, and the secret of what the Rebbe referred to as Yoshua ben Nun, who draws Moshe Rabbeinu into Eretz Yisrael, ben Nun, the secret of Zer Anpin, which emerges from Bina itself, and then you have Ron, which is going to be Malchus in Olam HaAsiyah in its concealment. And that's the secret of Ron, Reish Nun Vav. Reish Nun Vav, as we know from the secret story of Rabbi Nachman going to visit the kever of Rabbi Shimon and entering into Meiron, in the secret of Mi-Ron, in the secret of Bina, which gives birth to the Ani, which is the secret of Ron, Reish Nun Vav. And from that place, the voice of Rabbi Shimon comes out from the cave, from the Ma'ara, and that secret of the Hitznoitzitz of Bina into Malchus, as the Ramchal was masbir in Adir Bamarom, Rabbi Nachman needed to be Ma'oira, that light again, of that in case of emergency, break glass, draw down Bina into Malchus, like Rabbi Shimon did by the Tevas Noach. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, Miron, who has the courage? Who has the courage? Who has the courage to come here and to ask of such a thing? To ask for his people, for his Hasidim, to daven, to transform their kibbutz hagadol, and when they can't get to Uman, to bring it into Meron. Who asks such a thing? Who is a tzaddik yisod olam kazeh? Miron, who has an anoichias like this? And Rabbeinu answered, Aniron, Aniron, I am the one who is here. I am the one who is here. I am the one who's bringing out the grandeur. And the secret of haroin v'haroimus l'chai olamim. Why was Rabbi Nachman able to say Aniron in the Torah of Reish Nun Vav? Why we're going to see this in Reish Nun Vav? Why was he able to say that? Which is also the secret of Rinu and the secret of the song of Tu B'Av. And the secret of Ran and the Ner and the Yichud of Ner, which is the Yichud Elyon, drawing down into the Vav itself, drawing it back down. But Rabbi Nachman was able to see Ani Ron. I have a sense of self that has been refined to the degree that, like Dovid HaMelech, I can say Ani Yavarech V'li No'el Yavarech, because I come from that place of Dovid HaMelech, from transforming the broken osios into praises to you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because that's the only thing I can do, as we saw from the Kajnitzer Magid. It's rooted in the fact that Haroin v'Haroim was l'chai ha'olam. When a person realizes that the Roin down here, the secret of Metatron down here, is ultimately the secret of HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealing himself by way of concealment above, in the secret of Shabbos, which is Meir, all of the bracha, Ki Makor HaBracha, the secret of Shabbos HaKodesh, and the secret of Me'ein Olam Haba, and the secret of Yom Shekula Shabbos, the secret of Tu B'Av, the secret of the Tov Av, the secret of the goodness, the goodness, the goodness, the goodness. And that's why there's a secret Torah here in Reish Nun Vav, which is the secret of Ron, which is the Anoichias of Rabbeinu, which is rooted in the Anoichias, the Kedusha, which is rooted in the Bittul Muchletes, and the Ani Ha'elyon of Ani Hashem Elokeichem resting upon a person, and the secret of Hashras Hashchina upon the Tzadikim, and the secret of Ha'avos Heim Heim HaMerkava. So Zokt Rabbi Nachman in Torah Reish Nun Vav, in the secret of Ron. Shem Ata, the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ata, Aleph Tav Hey, Mesugul al Hayam lahachnia hagalim, is very helpful when a person finds themselves in the sea to calm the waves. The hasod, and the secret is b'shog alav ata teshabchem, that when the waves of the sea rage, you are going to calm them down. You, ata. So this Torah, this secret name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ata, in accordance with what we've been saying, this secret of Ata is the secret of calming down the waves. The waves are Tisha B'Av, prior to the revelation of Tov Av, of the goodness, of the connection between above and below, and the Tov of Aleph Hey, Vav Hey, and the secret of transforming the Oy, which is Gematria 17, into the secret of Tov, which is the Gematria of 17, into the secret of the Shem Aleph Hey, Vav Hey, which is the Gushpanka D'Malka, which is the stamp and the seal of the king, revealing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is everywhere, even in the places of concealment, which is the secret of Parak Vav in Meseches Brachos, which is the secret of all of the riboy pratim and the differentiations between Iker and Tafel and this and that, in order to try and come to a place of Ketzad Mevarchim, Ketzad Meraktim, Lifnei Akala. How does a person elevate the light of Malchus itself back up above to the infinite source of Keser Elyon Olav Nikra, to be Machaber Aniva Ayin Bevasachas? That's the secret of Ata. That's a secret of calling to HaKadosh Baruch Hu right here, right now, out of urgency, out of fundamental urgency of saying, even if it's Shloi Lishma, I'm coming to you. The mechuaro shabahem, the ugliness of loy lishmakait. Even at this point, loy lishma is mezuchach letachlis abirur, so that even our loy lishma is beautiful in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu, Rashbi, Arizal, Baal Shem Tov, Rabbeinu, all of the tzaddikim amitim, they did lishmakait for us. Lo'olam yilmad adam mitoich shalei lishma beloy lishma ki mitoich shalei lishma balishma. Zok the Heliga. Me'orinayim, that la'olam doesn't just mean a piece of advice, always do it like this, but rather it means it will always be like this, because every darga of lishma will reveal a higher level of lo lishma. And in the malchus of the benos hamechuaros, the ugly ones who have nothing of their own, they say, marry us for our gold. Reach out to that place of arich anpin, that secret of the gvuros elyonis b'sharasham, the ani yivarich b'li no yivarich. And that's all the secret of Ata, the secret of Baruch Ata. And that's the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that calms the waves of the sea. The waves of the sea are concealment. The sea is Malchus. The sea is Malchus prior to the revelation of the Yam HaChochma, which is the secret of Chochma within the sea. Because obviously, Abiyas Abrata and Malchus itself is fundamentally rooted up in the highest place imaginable in the secret of Dir B'Tachtonim, like we saw from the Teferes HaChenoichi, that the issue with not making a bracha is not that I'm stealing from the Rebbeinu Shloim, it's that I'm stealing godly awareness from myself. Avada Kadosh Baruch Hu is everywhere revealed. My inability to realize that or to benefit from that is not going to diminish the fundamental yichud. And it's from that place of Ketz and Mevorchim, of all of the Riboy Pratim and the secret of Bo Keser, that I come to uncover the face-to-face encounter with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which calms the waves. The waves are every issue. The waves are every prevention. The waves are every mania. The waves are every orientation or struggle or difficulty or hope or hopelessness, or all of the human elements that make us so beautiful, and makes every part of life so vital and so engaging and so vibrant if a person is willing to listen and to quell the inner voice of self-doubt and to stop minimizing one's own kochos and to open oneself up at least to the possibility of fixing what's broken, to be mashlim belukim vessel of malchus. Okay, you can't draw down the yud sfirus chadashos of ma yet, you can't draw down something new, at least fix what's broken. Everybody could fix what's broken. Just like we learned from the secret of Maisim Ebitachon, the fixer doesn't need anything to fix. He breaks things, he makes things up. It's okay. It's the secret of Sheker Dovid v'Kesef Noitel, that the Maisim Ebitachon is the lie of the fake wooden sword, then trying to trick the king, even though the king knows and we know we have nothing. Ultimately, that's the Iker Schleik, that's the Schleik Na'eh that emerges from that place. That's the Schleik Na'eh, the pleasant laughter that comes, as Rabbeinu Nachman says, from the Yichud of the Shpaler Zayda and Rabbi Nachman. That's the No'eh, that's the No'eh that we say, V'chol Chaim, we say in Shmona Esrei, L'cha No'eh, it's good, No'eh, the secret of goodness, that it's worthy over here in this place, right here, right now. That's a secret of the Maisim Ebitachon. That's the secret of calling out Ata. Right here, right now, whatever the concealment is, I'm drawing down the light of Yichud right here, right now, in that place of the Samech, in that place of the Ois Samech and the Aleph Beis, which is the secret of unity, which allows me to draw down the Tov of the goodness that is inherent in every Os. And this place of Ata, this name, Rabbi Nachman received this name that calms the waves of the sea, that allows me to traverse the waves of the sea, even though they're raging, to create a teva for myself, to create a place of comfort for myself. We have the story of how Rabbeinu received that name. Rabbeinu was bederech l'Eretz Yisrael, and the secret of trying to settle the land of Eretz Yisrael, the secret of Tov Av, the secret of the goodness of the Aleph Beis, as the Heilige Bas Ayin said that it took him a number of years to be in Eretz Yisrael until he really understood the blessing of the Ani who visited him from Eretz Yisrael in Chutz La'aretz, telling him that the stones of the land shine like diamonds. The stones of the land are the Osios. The Bas Ayin is that tiny black dot which appears to be devoid of anything, but in Eretz Yisrael it's transformed to be that place of connectivity, that place of the yichud of Mashiach ben Dovid and Mashiach ben Yosef, and the secret of Heichan ani ba'olam ani rak be'Eretz Yisrael, and the secret of clapping and the koyach masa of higad la'amo that a person does in the rikudim on Tu B'Av of drawing down, as Rabbi Nachman explains in Torah Mem Gimel, that koyach masa of higad la'amo, when I clap, I draw down the light of Eretz Yisrael. On the derech to Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Nachman encountered a tzaddik who gave him this secret name from Istanbul. It was going to be the name that enabled him to traverse the waves of the sea. And that tzaddik that gave him this name of Ata, that face-to-face orientation in order to quell the waves of my life, was none other than Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk, the Halev Vitebsker, the Pri Haaretz, the Pri Hagan, the Pri Ha'etz, the secret of the Yichud and the Zivug of Tiberia, the secret of the Tibor, Lamatam and a Tibor, which is the secret of the Shir Meshulish and Meruba, as the Rebbe has been describing, to reveal the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu down here in the secrets of Achila and the secret of the stomach itself and the secret of the Shidduch and the Zivug and the connectivity of above and below. In that secret of Ata, it was Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk who gave this name to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk who taught us about the hidden room in our own minds and the secret of that room where Mashiach has already arrived. The only problem was that Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk had already been nifter. He was already dead by the time that Rabbi Nachman was on his journey to Eretz Yisrael. And so Zokt, all of the Talmidim that it was the neshama of Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk. If I said Shklov, that's funny, but it was a mistake because there's a connection between Rav Menachem Mendel of Shklov and Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk, because Shklov and Vitebsk is buried in Tveria. Both were the Talmidim of Hakim, that or of the Baal Shem Tov and the Gra, Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben Dovid, who wanted to settle the land of Eretz Yisrael. And there's the story that the Divrei Chaim, Schus Ganalenu of Sanz, gave a haskama to Rav Menachem Mendel of Shklov's miraculous biur on the Idrizuta, which is Mayim Adirim. And the question is, how did the Divrei Chaim, it wasn't a haskama, but rather it was the Divrei Chaim saying that he would have never spent a day without this sefer being on his desk, which is not surprising to someone who learns Mayim Adirim, the strength of the water, of the Mayim Rabim Lo Yochlu, Chabus Asava, of the Torah of the Gra and the Talmidim of the Gra in Pnimius LaTorah, especially in the light of Eretz Yisrael. It's not surprising that the Divrei Chaim wouldn't want to remove it, but the fact that it got onto his desk in the first place for him not to remove it is surprising at that time. We're talking about a main disciple of the Vilna Gaon, in spite of the fact that he went back on the Chayrim and he wasn't participatory in the Chayrim in a real way, because there was no real Chayrim other than the reality of the Chayrim, the innermost Pnimius. There was no real Chayrim because the Chayrim was a Gilui of a Yichud B'derech Batisha and the unification of Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef and the Grand, the Baal Shem Tov, which takes place in the unity of finding Eretz Yisrael. And as a result, so it's not surprising, but nevertheless, it seems strange that this sefer found its way onto the Divrei Chaim's desk. And the story goes that the Divrei Chaim saw a teaching in the name of Rav Menachem Mendel of Shklov in the Idrizuta, where it speaks about what the Baskol that's Yotze Mehar Choyrev each and every day, awakening a person to tshuva. What is that? And the Heiliger of Menachem Mendel of Shklov writes that it is the hirhurei tshuva within the heart of the individual. The osios that are me'oyer within a person, telling them to return to nutzi rufim, reorient the letters, dust off the brokenness and the dustiness of your letters, and create living letters. Osios machkimos, connect yourself to the infinite light and draw it down exactly to where you are, right here where you stand with the thing that you're eating in this moment. The radical secret of taste, the radical secret of baruch ata. And because the Divrei Chaim knew this vort already from Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk, in the name of the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, because he knew this secret of the Hirhurei Liba in the heart of a person, from the secret light of Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk, which is the secret of the room of the Vitebsker, where a person hears the voice of Har Sinai in each and every moment, the secret Aleph of Anoichi, which reverberates throughout the echoes of infinite history, which is the secret of Kabbalah Satira, Ba'ahava, each and every moment, which are only Alephs. All there is Aleph. There's one Aleph, there's two Aleph, there's three Aleph, there's four Alphim, there's all of the Alephs until we have 400 Alphim of the Tes Alphe, the Tes Men of Esav, which is the end of the Aleph base. But Aleph is just a concealment of itself over and over and over. That's the innermost point of the Os Beis, which is the secret of the Os Aleph. Aleph is the Yud, the Vav, and the Yud, which is the secret of the Baki Berat, Baki B'Shov, as Rabbi Nachman describes in Torah Vav, which is the secret of connectivity. And so, it turned out, I'm sorry for the long-windedness of this, it turned out that Rav Chaim Sanzer had the Heilige Mayim Adirim of Rav Menachem Mendel Mishklov on his desk, because the light of Rav Menachem Mendel Mishklov and the light of Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk is that secret of Ata, is teaching that orientation of when you face HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you face this moment, when you connect yourself to the secret light of Baruch and the fact that I'm drawing down the infinite light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to wherever I find myself, right here, right now, and I don't even have to wait 2 words until I encounter that innermost point of connectivity of Hispoididus and Kodesh HaKadoshim Mibein Shnei Akruvim. That's the Iker Yichud, that's the Iker Zivug, that's the Iker Shidduch. The Iker Shidduch is Laman Das Kol Amei Haaretz Ki Hashem Hu Elokim. We're the Am Haaretz. We're that place of Malchus in ourselves that is devoid of that connection of Yishuv Hadas, of Yichud, of Chibur, of Simcha, of Toiva, of the Toiv HaGonuz, of the Or Ki Tov, of that 17, of that transformation of the Oi, and that secret teaching of Oi, being Tov, is actually from Rav Menachem Mendel of Shklov in his beer on Mayim Adirim. The ability to recognize that is the secret of Ata, Baruch Ata, the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu, the secret of drawing down the light of Tu B'Av and being Mechaber all of the Riboy Pratim back into the cloud to draw down Yeshua's Pratios to each and every person imaginable and to bring the Yeshua Klalis, which is Mashiach Tzidkenu Be'ezras Hashem.